Cuse.com post-game show as Syracuse, the number 4 team in the country, defeats Duke 15-8. Welcome back in studio. Griffin Della Penna joined alongside Samantha Croston. And during that win, there was one player that really stuck out offensively, and we are very lucky to be joined with Emma Tyrell after a historic game for you, 5 goals, but I'm very interested to see how you believe that this offense has been clicking in the early part of the season.
Yeah, our offense has been honestly doing such an amazing job. We've had such a good game plan going into every game, and I think as the games go on, we've really been building more and more chemistry, and I think we're only going to go up from here.
Emma, I saw that multiple goals you had today were assisted by Olivia Adamson. I want to know how important the connection you have with her is on and off the field.
Yeah, honestly, like on and off the field, all the offense, like we really are such good friends, and it really definitely helps the chemistry on the field. And just the more we play together, the more that we have the chemistry and the connection. So it's going to go up from here.
And Emma, you came back for your 5th year. What has that leadership role been like for you, not just in this offense, but for the team at whole?
Yeah, I mean, I would like to say like it's definitely gotten a lot better than last year. Like I was considered a leader last year, so I've had a lot to like grow off of and like different things to try out. And I think that I just try my best to kind of lift everyone up all the time, and I just really try and get the team going.
Emma, season high for goals for you today. What sparked that confidence?
Honestly, I'm not too sure. Just like during practice all week, we've all been really just like bringing the energy, and everyone's been hyping each other up. And I think that definitely played into like leading up to this game.
Yeah, there was a while where you almost outscored Duke yourself. So congratulations on the win, and we'll see you on Tuesday.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
When we come back to the Cuse.com post-game show, we'll be breaking down the entire game from the stats to the highlights, and we even have some other games to talk about here on the Hill in just a minute. The Orange victorious again, the number 4 team in the country, above 500 for the first time this year with a 15-8 win over Duke inside the Dome. Welcome back. Now at the desk, Griffin Della Penna and Sam Croston here with you to break it down on the Cuse.com post-game show. But very interesting for Syracuse offensively and then defensively to hold Duke to single digits.
This is a game that you feel good about the entire way through because everybody contributed something, right? The offense did well. The defense did well. Delaney Schweitzer did well in net. From the draws all the way down to the defense, everybody did well today. You feel good about that win.
Well, here's how it went down inside the Dome. Game 1 of 2 for this doubleheader. Syracuse coming in as the number 4 team in the country, and this offense was ignited just seconds into the game.
Peyton Rowley, that quick goal to start things off, and SU got on a roll from here.
And then we saw Emma Ward, who's been maybe the main distributor so far this season, pick up her 7th goal on the campaign to get that 2-0 lead. And then Emma Tyrell, she scored 3 goals in less than 3 minutes in the first quarter to have that hat trick.
And then Delaney Schweitzer, goalies win games. She gets that save. And then Emma Tyrell again with another goal. This is when you really start to see her heat up and see how many different goal scorers they truly have.
Caroline DeBellis got Duke on the board with just about 6 minutes left in the frame and a big lead. The big bouncer shot by Maddie Baxter. That was key, especially in the first half. But then we saw Katie DeSimone have her first goal from way downtown as she caught Delaney Schweitzer lacking.
I mean, truly just a rare opportunity at an open netter there. And it would continue. Maddie Shearer finds the back of the net, truly runs it all the way down the field. A quick last-second assist, 1, 2, 3, shot and a score.
A little tic-tac-toe, and then we had one of 2 freshmen have their first collegiate goals. In this one, it was Jolie Caramelli finishing that one off as it was a 9-3 lead for Syracuse. And then we get into the third quarter. Natalie Smith, no goals in the first half. She got her first one there.
And it's just 1, 2, 3. You see the passing on full display. And I have a lot of time to talk about it because in the meantime, Casey Benoit is just running her way down the entire field. And she says, if no one's going to pick me up, I'm going to prove it to you. I can shoot this.
I can do it myself. Olivia Adamson, she continued to have the team lead in goals. And then this pass, I don't know if it was on purpose, but still the 1-2 bounce, perfect in stride. And then Katie DeSimone with just 10 seconds left makes it a 13-4 game.
There is such a thing as just a lucky bounce. Just happens from time to time. And again, Tyrell just on an absolute heater. She lets another one rip and extend Syracuse's lead.
Duke then scores the next 3 goals, and then they made it a little bit more interesting as Caroline DeBellis had that free position goal to make it 14-6. Then another first goal for Syracuse with time winding down in regulation. The sophomore Superior Clark, her first career goal. And we just have to watch this reaction because there was none better than this one right here, jumping for joy. Gotta love it.
That is exactly why I love the sport of women's lacrosse so much. Not only the reaction from her, but also from her teammates. You love to see that. Great way to end the game.
And the big discrepancy in the shots makes sense when the draw control, 20 of 27 for Kate Mashesky. That is very, very impressive stuff.
I mean, that is unbelievable. Like, that is truly something that even throughout the course of the entire season, you are not going to see that frequently. And you have to think about how much this matters. That is a big part of the reason why they got off to such a quick start. And from there, it was like Duke could never recover. You knew that Syracuse had that game the rest of the way.
Yeah, they controlled that pace of play very well, even early on in the first half. But the veteran scorers really stood out today in an offense that has so many big character players. They really did their thing against the Blue Devils.
I mean, this is the new Syracuse women's lacrosse team, and you can expect to see so much more from both Olivia Adamson and Tyrell this season. They are such important parts of this year's team, and they complement each other well. They have totally different skill sets. You see, Adamson, she's an attacker. She's more of a dodger, frequently looking to pass. Who's on the other end of that? Tyrell, a midfielder who's generally cutting. She's hungry for those feeds.
And it almost seemed in the second half that Duke was really trying to take away the middle and try to take away those cuts, but then it just opened up other aspects of Tyrell's and Addison's game to get more goals.
And it must be frustrating as a Duke defender. What do you do if you're trying to defend the cuts? They'll just dodge around you. They didn't have an answer for them today. They frankly got outplayed.
So Adamson now has the team lead in sole possession with 15 on the season. Those three helpers also really helps in terms of the assists, but those are two players for Syracuse that are going to have a high shot volume all season long.
I mean, not to mention just 7 goals collectively. This is a team where, yes, everybody plays a role, but there are 3 or 4 people each game who seem to be carrying the rest of the team to a victory. But the cool part about it is those 2 or 3 people, it changes every game. Could be any person on any given day.
And that makes things so much harder for the opposition on who they are going to try to have the defensive mindset. Yeah, I don't know what you do, and that's why we don't coach. Instead, we're in the booth.
We talk about it.
Yeah, we just talk about it. We break it down.
Easier.
And another thing we want to break down is how Syracuse today was able to distribute the ball, and it made things so much easier on so many of their goals today to be right on the doorstep.
I feel this is a team that does their best work when they are assisting on at least 50% or so of their goals. And you saw that on full display today. This is an offensive unit that has always prided themselves on their selflessness. You'll see plenty of times, even today, that a Syracuse player is in transition, they have the opportunity to shoot it, but they don't. 1, 2, even 3 passes because they want a better shot and they know they can get it.
And Syracuse, in terms of the entire country, tied for 19th at 7.5 assists per game, so under that total, but when they are having those assists, they're making it worth it for those easy goals, which is fun to watch. Another thing that was fun to watch was the draw control battle where Syracuse completely dominated Kate Mashesky, one of her best days in an SU uniform.
I mean, she was just villainous out there today. I would not want to go up against her. And yes, it was Mashesky on the one hand getting the draws herself, but she also had plenty of help, which you see on a couple of these clips. It was her winning the draw to herself sometimes. It was also the help and support that she had on the circle. It seemed like no matter where that ball went, there was somebody there to support her that time around, Nat Smith and others along the way.
And even when we talked about in the pregame, Duke does have a contributing cast in terms of who is going to be taking those draws. And still, maybe the battle at that point goes the Blue Devils' way. Didn't show that here in this one. Still early part of conference play for the women's lacrosse team, but time winding down in the regular season for the women's basketball team. And Ari Feinstein is in studio to talk about Deasia Fair and her historic season with Syracuse. Ari, thank you very much for that. It is just really special to see in year 2 of the FLJ era that this team was ranked preseason 9th in the ACC. And if we were going to look at if the season ended today, that they would be a double-bye team, 3rd in the entire conference.
There are a lot of people who maybe thought they might not even make the NCAA tournament. They made the WNIT last year. They have already exceeded expectations, but I love Coach Jack's attitude about it because this is always what she knew and believed that her team had to offer. She said, I'm not going to beg fans to come. Now I feel like fans are begging to be there.
And they should, with the play of Deasia Fair having all of these different milestones throughout her career, and even mixing in some of the younger talent as well, like in Alyssa Latham, who really shined in that game against NC State in that most recent loss. So you have to keep your eyes open for the women's basketball team, but when we come back, we'll talk a little bit of men's hoops as they will play Louisville later today. And we'll break it all down here in the Cuse.com postgame show right after the break. Make it 2 in a row for the Syracuse women's lacrosse team as the number 4 team in the entire country has a 15-8 win in game 1 of 2 inside the Dome today. Welcome back for the final time here on the Cuse.com postgame show. Griffin Della Penna alongside Samantha Croston. And we just broke down the Syracuse women's basketball team. And the men, they play later today against Louisville. They're on a 3-game win streak, but they almost had a stunner against Louisville a few weeks ago. And Riley Underwood tells us why they were able to score 92 points against the Orange in their previous meeting. Riley, thank you very much. It's been a good end of the conference slate for Syracuse, but in year 1 of the Red Autry era, it's been also impressive.
Yes, it has. And it's interesting. I feel like over the course of the last few weeks, it's just felt totally different. I really feel like that UNC upset changed everything. It felt like things that weren't possible before are possible now, and they just might sneak their way into the NCAA tournament. It's possible. They
could be on the bubble, especially if they win that potential game. Right now, they would be the 6th seed. They would play the winner of Georgia Tech, who they lost to by 5, or Boston College, and then potentially playing Virginia. All that can shake up as there's still 2 more games left in the regular season tonight against Louisville and then on the road against Clemson, which if they can win that game, that would be very, very good for the Orange. There was another team on campus that just wrapped up their season for Syracuse women's ice hockey, and even though it wasn't the best season for them, they did have one player that really stood out in Rachel Teslak, and Maria Kafis tells us more. As we continue to look potentially at the upcoming schedule for this women's lacrosse team, there are so many ranked teams coming up that this team has to go against.
And again, that's a good thing in my eyes because, again, you're playing against the best teams and you're doing it early in the season. And you know Syracuse and the way that Kayla Traynor likes to coach. I don't think that she is looking at anything below that first line. She's looking at Stony Brook. This, to me, is always one of the most fun and exciting games of the entire season because it's straight up upstate versus downstate lacrosse. It's just an exciting battle.
2 different styles and also a potential family reunion in Syracuse as the head coach.
It's a family affair.
Oh, it has to be with Stony Brook head coach Joe Spallina, the father of Joey with the men's lacrosse program, and maybe a little bit of a rivalry there in the Spallina household. But as we wrap up here today, Sam, what are your final thoughts from today's win?
I think for Syracuse today, it's just a feel-good win. And for some reason, my mind keeps going back to Superior Clark. I just feel so happy for her. But ultimately, the entire team, it's just a good feeling to feel like from the goalie to the draw circle to everything in between, somebody contributed something today, and they are going to feel good about that win based on how many people performed well.
And for the first time this year, above 500, that first loss in Northwestern makes things difficult, but with them being the number 4 team in the country right now, do you think that that next week is a spot that they'll be in as well?
I do, and I think that the Notre Dame win was great, super helpful as far as the rankings are concerned. It's tough to say because, again, with Duke, that was a team that was a little bit on the lower side, but I also think with Stony Brook ahead, that's a nice opportunity to show exactly where you stand for either team.
If you beat the number 12 team in the country, that could mean a whole lot for the Orange moving forward. We do have another game after this as the men's lacrosse team will play High Point, but on behalf of our entire amazing crew, our producer Audrey Glenn, Samantha Croston, I'm Griffin Della Penna saying so long here on the Cuse.com postgame show.